What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Good Success Podcast. I am your host, Josh Culler, and today is a very special episode because obviously you guys are looking at me right now, unless you're listening to this post the live interview that we're doing right now. And we have Jim Ingersoll on the podcast with us. We're doing a Facebook Live interview, so if you guys are listening to this on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, or Stitcher, you missed out on that. Make sure you go follow us on our social accounts so that you don't miss any live interviews in the future. So make sure you go do that. But Jim Ingersoll, what's up, Jim? How's it going?
Hey, it's awesome to be hanging out with you guys talking about real estate today.
Awesome. And then we got Tom Olson right next to me. So Tom's over there. He's going to be a co-interviewer. So we're gonna tag team here with Jim. So that's
good.
Teamwork.
I love hanging out with Tom and talking about real estate. It's one of my favorite things to do. So it's good.
Likewise.
Awesome to hear. So we got Good Success mugs. Tom, oh, I didn't bring yours. I'm sorry. We got Good Success mugs. So
I got the Christmas card though.
The Christmas card. Yeah, on our quick tip video. But anyway, there is not coffee in this. It's just water. So just a little hint. Good Success gear coming out soon. Okay.
Good Success gear.
All right. So what we're gonna do is I have 7 questions that I'm interviewing Jim with. Now we are gonna be having Kevin monitor the comments in the description for you guys on Facebook Live for you guys watching this. Make sure you share this around. We've got a lot of good questions for Jim, and he's had a lot of success in the real estate industry. And I have my own questions. I'm sure Tom has a couple of his questions, and he's going to chime into things that Jim replies to. So first off, Jim, let's get the first question. So tell us about yourself, who you are, what you do, and how long you've been doing that.
Boy, that's a really open-ended question. You know, we could talk about that for about 30 seconds.
30 seconds? Man,
I don't really enjoy talking about myself. But yes, Jim Ingersoll, I live in beautiful Richmond, Virginia. Been investing full-time for about 11 or 12 years. Before that, I was in engineering and ran some factories and different things. But it's been full gear in real estate for a long time. Started off wholesaling like a lot of people and did all kinds of different things in real estate, every deal you could ever imagine, and lots and lots of transactions.
Awesome. And fix and flip is your favorite, right? If I'm correct.
Fix and flip's a lot of work, man.
Yep.
But we do a lot of them, yes.
Never anybody's favorite.
A lot of moving parts, but you take what the market gives.
Yeah.
Right now, our retail product is in very high demand because inventory is low and demand is strong.
Awesome.
So, I think it's good to sell when others are buying and buy when others are selling. That's simple little takeaways for everybody listening because it's that simple.
Yeah, sometimes it's a lot more simple than we make it, isn't it, Jim?
I agree. And if you're going to scale up your business like you've done, Tom, you've got to have stuff that's repeatable systems and processes for sure.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, good to hear. So those of you who don't know who Jim is, if you guys are not watching this on Jim's page, but you guys are coming to us through our Good Success page or even the videos that Tom's sharing on his Facebook page right now, this is who Jim is. Jim is a very good friend of ours at Good Success, and eventually we're going to get him to come to the Good Success Mastermind, which we're going to talk about later. So
I've been to your place before. I love it, and I'm coming back next summer sometime.
Awesome. That's good to hear. Yeah, so we're going to talk about an event, guys, that we're going to have in the summer that Jim's going to be headlining speaking at. So make sure you guys pay attention.
I'm not sure if you know, Jim, but we actually named it the Community Go-Giver Event. So I
saw that. I loved it.
Yeah, awesome.
I love the Go-Giver book and the Go-Giver Leader. I mean, 2 books that really rocked my world. They're great books.
Awesome. Good to hear. All right, so question number 2. Tell us about your real estate success with Jim Ingersoll podcast. So we obviously have you on our podcast as a guest right now. I think you're going to actually be having Christina Schnurr, which is the integrator for Olson Group and Good Success, the whole workings of that. And she's going to be on your podcast. I know that you have had Tom a couple times.
Oh yeah.
I believe we had you last year at some point, early into our podcast. And so that was awesome. But tell us a little bit about your podcast, what it's all about, what people can expect, and how to get to your podcast.
Well, you can find it on iTunes or just Google it if you want, Real Estate Success, and put my name, Jim Ingersoll, next to it. You will definitely find it. And as you know, it's a lot of fun because I get to talk to a lot of guests. And what's really cool as host is you get to ask the questions. So I asked the questions that intrigued me the most of my favorite guests. Tom was certainly one of them. Tom came on my podcast, and it was one of the longest ones we've ever done. Yeah, I think it's almost an hour long of Tom
What are
Olson.
you trying to say?
He's trying to say that Tom is long-winded at the end. Yeah, that's exactly what he's trying to say.
No, it's great. I love it because
That's why I have Josh do ours.
there you go. It connects people, and
Yep.
and this is a networking business.
Absolutely.
So everybody
Say your
should
quote. What's your
consider
quote?
being.
What's your quote about
Yes.
networking?
Yeah, it's great. I love it. So Real Estate Success Podcast. Been good.
Yes. Awesome. So what your quote though about networking? You always say it. What is it?
Your network is your net worth.
There it is.
Yeah.
That's it right there.
I wish I knew that at your age, Josh, because it's so true.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So awesome to hear.
I've even taken that a little farther, Jim, and
Yeah.
I say your network is not only your net worth, it's actually your survival plan.
There you go.
And I think a lot of people, if they knew how much your network could really
Yeah.
help you when you really need them, that's what you got to think about sometimes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I agree. And if you want to see where you're headed, take a look at the group of friends and see who those 5 closest people are, just like Jim Rohn said.
Yep.
We're going to influence you and help you move up or down.
Yes. Yeah. You got to average up. That's
You got to average up.
You're the people that you associate yourself with or hang out with or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, awesome stuff. All right. So question number 3, what is the best? So these questions, the next few are more about your journey, I guess we could say. So this is going to bring a lot of value to people, these next few questions that we have. So number 3, what is the best thing you have done for yourself in real estate investing specifically? Maybe not the business side, because that's the next question, but in real estate investing specifically, what's the best thing you have done for yourself?
Well, I think thinking through that a little bit, I think the key for me was taking the time over the years to also build a portfolio of rentals and notes. Because it's so easy to get on a hamster wheel of transactional income. This is where realtors get into trouble. It's where people that only do fix and flip get into trouble. It's where people that only do wholesale deals get in trouble. Because as soon as you lose your deal flow or you get tired and want to slow down, all your income stops. So if you can start to build some passive income, you will find a path to build true wealth and really find financial freedom down the road.
Awesome.
So
Yeah, it's funny because I see that. I see that on both sides, Jim. Sometimes I see people that go 100% into rentals,
Yeah.
people that go 100% into fix and flip or 100% into wholesale, and I'm like, you've got to have at least a little bit of both because you need those big hits. You need the big amounts of cash for active income, but you also want to be building something that's repeatable, that's going to happen every single month on autopilot. So I totally agree with you, and I appreciate that.
Now, this is probably a loaded question, but what's the best way about getting into the real estate game? If somebody's never done it before, where do they start with that?
Well, I think you got to decide what do you need, because some people are at different points of their life. So you might have some people that are going to, they don't want to be actively involved, but they want to be passively involved. They may have retirement money set aside or money sitting in a CD or something like that. And they can participate in other people's deals very easily. They could buy a turnkey rental from you folks, or they could be a private lender, or they could do equity joint ventures or whatever. So or you can invest in notes. So the cool thing is there's a lot of different ways you can invest truly passively if you're in the position to do so. If you have some capital sitting and you're ready to deploy it. The other question is, if you really need active income and you're like, want to quit your job, you hate your job, you're 9 to 5 or whatever, and you want to jump in, then you've got to replace that income so your family can eat every day, right? Mm-hmm. And you can send your kids to college, and you can buy your family nice Christmas gifts that's coming up right around the corner. And so you're going to need some transactional income. The best way to get that quickly is probably wholesaling would come to mind, or maybe doing some fix and flips.
Gotcha. Awesome. Good information. All right. So just to take a break here. So you guys are watching live on Facebook right now. And if you have not already, make sure you share this video so that it gets around. We need to get the news out about good success and being with Jim Ingersoll right now. So Jim Ingersoll out of Richmond, Virginia. You guys, this podcast is going to be coming out right after this live video. So make sure if you missed previously in the live video, make sure that you guys go listen to it on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, and Stitcher. So we're going to be posting that a little bit later on today. But right now we are live with Jim. So make sure you guys give us a big thumbs up. Leave your comments below. We got Kevin Myers.
Yes, thank you for all the likes that have been flowing in, guys. It's awesome to see. You guys rock.
Everywhere.
Awesome. All right. So the next question that we have is, what is the best thing? So this is different from the previous one.
All right.
What is the best thing that you have done for yourself to grow your business?
So to grow my business. Okay. Well, I said earlier, I kind of time the cycles like this. If everyone's buying, then I'm selling. If everyone's selling, then I'm buying. So it's backwards from everybody else, right? So right now we're in a market where retail is really hot, and so are wholesale deals are in high demand as well. So if you want transactional income, you could wholesale or you could fix and flip. So we decided to go ahead and scale up our fix and flips. And I think some of the keys to that is getting the right employees onto your team and growing your contractor base. So it all goes back to really, what do you want your culture to be? And what are really your core values? You can't see it quite, but right behind me there, I'm pointing at it. It says gratitude, growth, and development. Those are our core values. And we live that. We breathe it. It's in our culture every single day. So we're all constantly looking for opportunities for gratitude, development, and growth for people, for our team, for our business, for our deal flow, for everybody that we work with. We're truly grateful, and we are growing very quickly. So you got to have that as like a foundation, I think, and then grow your team and grow your base from there.
Great. Yeah. And go ahead.
What did you say again? Those were gratitude, growth, and what, Jim?
Development.
Awesome.
I want to develop people. I want to develop contractors. I want to develop passive investors that work with me. I want people to develop out. I want to know really in their core, what do they want to do? What can I do to help them grow? What can I do to help them develop and meet their goals? They may not want to be a contractor forever. You know, I've had a lot of contractors start to flip houses because they learned how to do it. I'm okay with that. I don't have like this this poverty mindset where I think there isn't enough opportunity out there in the world. I think there's opportunity everywhere, and the more we give, the more we're going to receive.
Absolutely. And you know I think is so interesting. I talk about core values as well too.
I know.
And you know that, Jim. And we kind of like since we actually had two companies almost like come together as one, we kind of redid our core values, and they kind of were a combination of what we had before. We ended up with charity, stewardship, growth.
Wow.
And now it's flipped my
World
mind.
Class.
No, it's not world class. That was growth.
It's
charity.
That's right.
Oh, community. Yeah,
Community.
Yeah. So it's like, to me, what I think is very interesting is whenever I go around the country and I talk to people that I know are my friends and we're close, like people like you, they're always very similar in core values, because like I want my network of people outside to be very similar to the people that I want inside too. So when you said gratitude, which I think is very similar to, to community maybe, or having a community. Growth obviously is the same. Stewardship I think is very similar to your development.
Yeah,
and
no, I agree.
Always trying to make sure that if you think that you're at the top, like I don't want you anymore. Like I don't want to work with people that think that they know it all, and I don't know it all. I'm trying to learn every single day. And once you get there, so I think it's really interesting too that I really like that you think that's the most important thing is developing the culture.
Tom, we try to carry that on, outside the walls of our office too, and into our entire network and all of our teams. So we want that culture right on our job sites. Even though they're subcontractors, I expect that same culture, at least, gravitating that direction. So whether somebody's installing an HVAC unit or hanging a light or doing flooring or painting or carpentry, demo, it doesn't matter. That's the direction we want. And I want them to know that's where we're headed.
Awesome. Yeah. And like you said, like you said, we take it outside. So all of those core values that he mentioned, we expect that from our mastermind members, right? So everybody that comes into our community for the mastermind, we vet them, like, not directly saying, oh, do you have all these core values? But you can always tell in a personality when somebody has that. And then what happens is we've actually brought a couple people in that just didn't fit the room because of the core values. Right. And they beat it out. They just ended up not, like, it's not that we had to say, no, you can't join. It's like they didn't ask to come back.
Right.
And that's okay with us because we don't want those type of people in the room, right? So that's awesome. It goes outside of our company. Like what happens inside is also outside with the, like he said, the network of people that we reach with. So
no, absolutely. And, you know, I even try to take that gratitude component into my other side businesses, like my rental portfolio. And, you know, you've got to be careful about managing tenants and contractors both. But if you've got somebody who's been with you a long time and they're good and they pay their rent on time, they leave you alone, they only call when there's a serious issue, then we need to recognize them and thank them, especially at this time of the year being Christmas.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And just one more quick thing on that. I started doing this 3 years ago with I even developed what I called family rules, and it's really core values. And it starts with be kind. It's a little different, but it's all again the same. It's be kind, be honest, no whining. You kind of want that, especially with the younger ones around the house. Yeah. But
brush your teeth, ask before you take a cookie.
But it was about. But we have children obey your parents. But really, like the whole reason why we have it is it's like understanding what the authority structure is supposed to be in any situation. But I was so proud of my. She was 6 years old at the time, Edie. She actually came up with our fifth one, which is give gifts. Like it's just a very simple but we give gifts as a family. And I thought it was really cool because she kind of saw how her parents and how we always act and she was like, yes, we give gifts, Daddy. So that's really our family's core values. And I really think that's a great idea for people to do, is to not just have core values for their business, but also carry that on into your personal life as well. And you might have to change it up a little bit for what fits your family. But I think having those core values, or call them family rules or whatever, I think is really cool.
I do too, Tom. I think it's a great point to make.
Great. Awesome. All right. So next question. What is the biggest mistake you have made in investing? I see your face there. How did you recover from it? So
nobody ever makes mistakes.
I love asking these questions because every single time I ask this question to somebody that we're interviewing, always get a different answer. I mean, we had a guy on our podcast a couple episodes ago. His name's Roger Blankenship. He's from Atlanta. And he went through the real estate crash and actually came out on top. He was one of those people that came out on top and just pushed through it. So and every other person I've asked this question to in an interview just had completely different answers. So
I went
it may not be the crash, but
all the way through that crash too, but I'm not going down that memory lane today. and I made it through. So people if the market shifts, you just got to shift with it.
Right.
I'm going to talk about, Cheryl and I got started really young. So we got married. Cheryl was 19, I was 21, and we bought our first house. That was fine. And growing up, my dad made being a landlord look really easy. He had some duplexes and did really well with them. So I think we were 23. And Cheryl and I said, that's a duplex we're going to buy. And we didn't have a clue what we were doing. We had no network. We had no training. We had no mentors, nobody at all. So we went ahead and bought it, got a bank loan on it, and probably put 10% down. And it was a $21,000 duplex. Looks so good on paper, right? We had 3 bedrooms down, a couple bedrooms up, and didn't realize all the deferred maintenance that was required, all the things that were wrong with that house. And so all of a sudden we were really struggling on cash, being young and over our heads and no clue. And so stuff would break, and I would have to go over and try to repair a boiler myself. And Tom, this is in Jamestown, New York, by the way, where it's really cold in the winter.
Hometown.
It was on Grant Street in Jamestown.
Oh, yeah, that's a great area over there.
Never forget Grant Street. It was my first duplex, and it was horrible. And everything you can imagine went wrong. So we had deferred maintenance issues, no money to fix. And then I was working full-time as an engineer, and part-time I was trying to be a landlord. And somebody shows up, they have the deposit, they have a pulse. Oh, give me your deposit, move in. I didn't understand tenant screening. I didn't have a rental application. I didn't know how to collect rent, none of that stuff. And things got ugly in a heartbeat. It became an avalanche so I ended up selling the house on a land contract. Back then we had a refi set up the next day. He had equitable interest. He refied me out, and that was that. 10 years, Cheryl, my wife, made me swear I'd never be a landlord again. or buy any other investment property. And it took me about 10 or 12 years to talk her back into giving this another try. That cost me, I don't want to think about how much money, losing 10 or 12 years of investing. That's why your core network, getting around the right mentors, masterminds is critical. That's why I said learning that at such a young age, Josh, is the critical path to your success.
Yeah. Yeah. Great stuff. Yeah.
That's good.
Tom, what about you?
Boy,
we have you on the podcast.
Nothing ever fails with Tom Olson. He's like Superman. No, I'm sorry, not Superman.
Mistakes, let me tell
Captain America.
No,
Captain America.
When I was with a previous partner, we did a deal where we just didn't look at days on market, I think, and we kept lowering the price on a property. I think we lost $30,000 on a fix and flip. It was like a $400,000 house or something like that. But for me, it's more or less, it's kind of interesting that you said, it was like one thing that happened after another. It was like a compound effect negatively because you didn't set yourself up for success. And I think the biggest mistake that most people make is they don't prepare for success. And if you're not prepared for it, you're not gonna be able to take advantage of it when it happens.
When something does happen, they give up. It's like, I'm out, go.
I would say the biggest mistake I've made, I mean, other than like maybe losing money on projects, because I'm the type of person, I get to the point where I'm like, if I'm going to lose money on it, it's just, okay, I'm going to lose money on a property. Right. So we do hundreds of deals a year, but we probably lose money still, even ourselves, on a couple deals every single year.
Yep.
And then to me, it's like, I don't know if I want to go, other than that one Whirl Away project that I know was like a really big hurtful one that we lost a lot of money on. Most of the time just happens with like cities come get involved and they want everything done. And then we had one city, literally took us 4 months to close a house after it was under contract because the city wouldn't give us a occupancy permit because of some weird space issue in a bathroom in the basement. It's like the weirdest thing in the world. And then to get the inspector to come out, it took him 2 weeks every time we called him to come out and look at something one time. And it was the weirdest thing. But I would say, If I would go back and do something, anything different, it would be after 2008. I would have held a lot more properties from 2008, 2009.
That's a good question to start asking people. Yeah, that's quite a bit, but I would have held a lot more for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we did pretty well, and I can't complain. But if I would have known then what I know now, I would have went into $10 million worth of debt at that point in time. Yeah. Paying, I don't even care if I would have paid 12% interest, whatever. It would have been insane. Those same properties now that we were picking up for $20,000 and $30,000, we're selling for $120,000, $130,000 right now. So
yep,
that's going to lead us right into our next question. So before we go into that, you guys are watching live on Facebook right now. We are interviewing Jim Ingersoll from Richmond, Virginia. He is awesome. He's a great friend of Good Success. Make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up. Share it around so that this video gets around. And then this podcast is actually going to be published this live video is actually going to be published as a podcast later on today. And you guys can listen to that on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, and Stitcher. If you are watching from Jim's page and you don't know Good Success, come check us out. We're on all the social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So make sure you guys come check us out and see what we're all about. So next question, Jim.
Take it away.
We just previously talked about this, but going right into it, what are your thoughts on the current state of the real estate market and investing market? Okay. And how do you think it'll affect you in the future? So we have Tom that talks about the real estate cycle. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I think it is a cycle. The question is, when is it going to shift? And I was looking at data as recently as yesterday, and our local market is still very tight on inventory. Like between 7 and 9 weeks, I believe. And so the market is strong. There's plenty of buyers still. And I think we're going to run into issues with affordability. You never know what the Fed's going to do with interest rates. There's always a lot of unknowns. But as of today, like right now, market's still very strong. And there's high demand for retail product that's done right.
Awesome. All right.
I think investors are
demand for any products right now.
Yeah. And investors are probably paying a little too much on stuff.
Yeah, we get that all the time from people in Dallas. So we have a couple people in our Dallas market. Yeah. And one of them just does mobile homes, so he doesn't really get affected. But the other one, Max Keller, he's in there and he's always complaining about it. He actually went out of state in order to try to get some inventory flowing. So yeah, but anyway, okay. So last thing here that we're going to talk about is, and this is the big question, right? So anybody that's listening, that's a newbie investor or is just getting started, maybe done 1 or 2 deals, listen up here. So if a person that just got into real estate investing asked you, what is the one thing you wish you had learned before getting into real estate investing, what would you tell them?
Mentors, masterminds, and your network, without a doubt. And really, before you start making money, you got to get the right mindset.
Mentors, masterminds, and mindset.
Yeah, the 3 M's, M, and M. It's really true. I mean, I'm an engineer. I can understand how to do a transaction. I know how to negotiate. I can write a contract and buy a house, and I can fix it up and sell it. But really, if you want to accelerate what you're doing, if you want to shortcut the path a little bit, you've got to get around the right people and in the right rooms. That's why like your mastermind with good success is so critical. And getting that, building that network and getting around the people with the right mindset, taking out your head trash, not having a poverty mindset all the time is absolutely critical in my opinion.
Yeah, Jimmy, you have an event coming up soon. I know I'm going to, and I'm excited about going.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, it's coming up February 22nd, 23rd, and 24th in Richmond, Virginia. And you can check it out at investortrainingsummit.com. I'd love to see you guys and meet with you face to face. Look forward to seeing Tom, of course. He's coming in February, right after his birthday, I'm told. So it should be a slam bam event for sure.
Yeah, busy February. We have our mastermind too.
I have a busy January and February. It's very busy.
Yeah.
So is it called the Cash Flow Boot Camp?
Yeah, it is. And it's going to focus more on cash flow and building your net worth than it is flipping and wholesaling. But there'll be a little bit of that mixed in because every deal starts with a motivated seller. So we are going to focus on that. We're going to focus on private lending. We're going to focus on building rental portfolio and notes.
And so I'm sure you're going to headline and do a lot of the speaking there, but what are some of the other speakers you have lined up?
Well, I look forward to seeing what you have for us. But
okay. Is that a plug?
I guess I didn't realize that, but that's not why I was asking.
So on the Finding Motivated Sellers side, we've got 2. We've got Kathy Kennerbrook coming up from Florida. David Krulak just contacted me from Pennsylvania a couple days ago and basically, thank you, David, if you're watching, invited himself, which was great. He's a phenomenal guy on finding deal flow. And then, of course, on the notes side, we have Walter Wolford,
cool.
Self-directed IRAs with Quincy Long and John Heyer. Jeffrey Taylor, a.k.a. Mr. Landlord, is coming.
Oh, I love Jeffrey.
Wow.
Yeah,
we're trying to get him to come to our events.
Reciprocating. So I'm going to St. Kitts in January with him, and he's coming for me in February. So he's actually a great guy. So there is a lot of people, and the caliber of the people attending, there's a lot of people that are attending that speak from all over the country. So it's going to be, we're going to have some breakout sessions, panels, masterminds, because I mean, I know the people that are coming and they're strong as well. So it's going to be a strong group for sure.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Can't
wait. That lineup sounds an awful lot like our Community Go Giver event that's coming up. So,
hey, I can't wait to get there. I can talk about flipping houses at your event, so that'll be fun.
There you go. All right. So you guys, the cat's out of the bag. Jim is going to be headlining, speaking at the Community Go Giver event, which we're going to have up pretty soon. We're going to start getting that going. This is an early stage of what we're actually planning for that event. We're also going to have Walter Walford there and then a couple of other headlining speakers. Obviously, Tom is going to talk about it, but it's a 3-day event in July 25, 26, 27, correct? Yes, right. So
in our office. It's actually in our office.
Yes, correct.
But we only got 80 seats. Fire marshal says no more than 80 people. So space will be limited.
So you actually cannot purchase tickets just yet. So we're, like I said, we're letting the cat out of the bag. We just want to get this ahead of you guys and for you guys to keep an eye out for it. But we will have tickets going available very soon, and there will be a webpage for that you guys can watch. But make sure you keep an eye on our social media pages, and we'll announce when those tickets go on sale. Like Tom said, only 80 seats available. And the lineup is huge. So we're going to have Jim there, Walter Wofford with Financial Friends Network, and then Tom's going to headline. We're going to have several other speakers that are going to be there in addition to that. It's going to be an awesome 3 days, and we're definitely looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome. So hopefully Jim's looking forward to it.
Yes, let's go back to Jim. Can you tell us again how to get into your event? You said you gave us the website.
InvestorTrainingsummit.com. 3 words. www.investortrainingsummit.com.
All right, so we're going to have Kevin link that below so that you guys can go check that out, and we'll actually try to get that up right away right now so that you guys can go to that link and then sign up for that. So, yeah, I think that's it. Jim, awesome to have you on the podcast. We appreciate the interview, and we're looking forward to getting on your podcast as well, sending some of our people
Yes,
over.
very soon. Very soon. I'd love to have you back, Tom.
Is there anything else we can do for you, Jim?
Welcome back from Hawaii.
Yes.
He's not tan, though.
I have to figure out all the words that were said to me the whole time I was there.
Mahalo.
Mahalo and, yeah. Shaka, shaka, shaka. That's it.
Shaka.
That's awesome.
Fantastic. All right. Well, you guys watched the live interview with Jim Ingersoll. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, share it around so that you guys can spread the word of good success with Jim Ingersoll. And then we're going to be on his podcast. Like you said, it is real. What's the name of it?
Real Estate Success.
Real Estate Success with Jim Ingersoll. Make sure you guys go check it out. I know I found it on Stitcher myself, so you guys can try to. It's on iTunes, Google Play, and anything else. All of them. All right. So awesome. All right. So that's going to wrap it up for today's episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure you leave comments below if you have any questions at all for Jim. We can get those over to Jim. Jim, what's a good place for them to contact you if anybody has any questions for you? Maybe they want to get you.
They can email me. My name at Verizon.net. Jim Ingersoll at Verizon.net is fine. But the best place is to keep you guys to keep leaving your comments below this video on Facebook if that's where you're watching.
Awesome. Awesome. All right.
Awesome.
Sounds good. Well, that's going to wrap it up for today's episode, guys. Thank you so much for listening in. And remember that we do have our Good Success Mastermind coming up in February. Guys, go sign up for it. I don't know if Jim's going to be there. I don't think so because he's got a busy February, but we're looking forward to have him at the Mastermind very soon, as he possibly can get there, because we need him there. So anyway, guys, go to goodsuccess.com/mastermind. You can learn more about it there. We have a lot of testimonials on the page, a lot of what actually happens. It's in February. It's not too late to sign up. And then we also have 3 others next year that are going to be happening for a quarter. And you guys, Jim talked a lot about network. That's what happens here at the Good Success Mastermind, a lot of networking. You guys get to get in front of the room of a lot of elite real estate investing professionals that know what they're doing. They're doing high number deals, and you guys get to use them as a board of advisors, pretty much presents problems, collaborate with each other. A lot of value is given. It's a fantastic time. We love it. We'll see you guys in February. If you're interested, make sure you go to goodsuccess.com/mastermind. And then also make sure you are subscribed to the Good Success Podcast. We're on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, and Stitcher. Make sure you go. All those will be linked below. We'll have Kevin link those below so you guys can go check that out. Subscribe, leave us a review. We would love to hear your guys' thoughts on these. And that's going to do it for today's episode, guys. Thank you so much for listening in. And remember, whether you're looking to survive, thrive, or matter, our goal is to provide the tools to reach your vision. Thanks again for listening, and until next time.
Thanks, Jim.